Hey. Well, now you're just doing Stand By Me.
Yeah, it was
Oh, no, they're doing Time of the Season.
Oh, I mean,
Also, I
the
realized
same.
I'm not looking at I'm looking at you this whole time, not even like at me.
It's because you're not a professional like I am.
I like look here, but I look here, but I never look at like me. Like that's looking at me. That's looking at
because
you.
who the fuck would want to look at you?
No one, because I'm poor.
See?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DVD Extras.
Welcome back.
We hope you guys enjoyed this last episode. That was a fun one.
Was it though? I don't remember what we just did.
Just did.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, we do this like, later in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we on the way up here, we were discussing about Sweet Home Alabama for some stupid reason.
Oh no, we were discussing. How the fuck did this topic get brought up? I don't even remember.
I think I just brought up Neil Young, and I was like, I totally get why they get mad at Neil Young.
Oh yeah, because you were talking about you listened to Neil Young's album,
Harvest.
Harvest. Yeah.
He's a weird dude, man.
Yeah, he's super weird.
Like, fuck it. It's so weird listening to music from back in the day because they all just sound old.
Yeah.
And they were like our age or younger. Yeah.
They're all 20 and they sound all old and full of wisdom.
Yeah, and there's like these like 20, 30-year-olds. You're just like,
dude, back in the day, it was just a harder life, man.
That's true. No, that's fair.
Like, have you ever seen those pictures of like old like models that like were modeling like shirts in the 50s? And it's like, buy this shirt for your husband. And it showed like a model. And it looked like a gruff old man smoking a pipe. That dude was like 25.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
It looked like a dad.
Why do you think that is? It like you think it's just culturally like, or technologically how the way like things advance? Anyone that was our age looks like they're fucking 70.
I feel like because, to be completely honest, I feel like majority of us stopped smoking. Ours didn't start smoking at like 5, like the older generations.
Yeah.
I think that definitely has a lot to do with it.
Because like you hear the Eagles and they still sound like they're like the fucking people that played now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, man, that guy sounds old, but he's like fucking 27.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so weird to me. Like, I hope, I think I sound like I'm 30, but I'm sure people who, that listen to my music or listen to this shit will be like, is that guy 70?
No, they listen to you and like, oh, another song about like his girlfriend. He has to be like 18 or 19.
17 probably.
He started when he was like 12.
Wow. But yeah, Neil Young does not sound young whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all.
Like it's like really.
Yeah. He's like,
No, he's very much like. And then he has like a song called "Old Man Look at My Life." I'm like, you are the old man. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
dude,
even when you
he
recorded
sounds
that.
so old.
Old man, look at my life. I'm alive like you.
I mean, you started in the wrong key, but that's fine. You started like 2.5 steps higher than the actual key.
You do a good falsetto. Go.
It's not even falsetto.
Yeah, fuck you. You suck at shit.
Because it starts off like, oh my, look at my life. I don't know the words, but.
Oh man, look
see, you're too high.
I'm alive like you were.
So you're just too high.
I'm not too high.
You're way too high.
That's what he sounds like. You
You're
tell.
way
Let us
too
know.
high.
Let us know. But yeah, so kind of go. Sorry, we went on this huge ramble about Neil Young and not talk about why.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that he on the Sweet Home Alabama by the shitty band Leonard Skinner.
The okay band, Leonard Skinner.
No, they're fucking shitty. Fuck them. They wrote Freebird. They can go to hell.
That's the only reason you don't like it.
That's the only reason.
Banger.
Oh, you shut your mouth, dude.
Banger Freebird.
I'm sure it would have been a good song if people wouldn't be repeating that shit like 50 years after the
That's
joke
because
was
how
over.
banger it is.
That's not that good. But yeah, in Sweet Home Alabama, they actually like talk shit about Neil Young, and I'm like, what's this all rift about? And it turns out it's because of 2 different songs.
Yeah, because you listen. So I guess going back to Harvest.
I listen to Alabama.
Yeah, there's a song called Alabama.
Where he just shits on that.
Shits all over Alabama.
He says swing low Alabama. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and then we were talking about it, and the whole line, like, a Southern man.
Don't need him around anymore.
And I was like, oh, that's also a jab at Neil Young because the song's Southern Man. He's like, I don't know what song that is. So he listened to Southern Man. He's like, oh, this song's about the KKK. I'm like, yeah, that's what he's saying. Like, all people in the South are part of the KKK.
The argument is that final line when it says, a Southern man don't need him around anyhow, he was hearing it different than what I was hearing it.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, I was saying that Leonard Skinner was like, the South doesn't fucking need you. And you were saying more so that...
Like, they were specifically saying, like, that specific Southern man referring to Neil Young, they don't need him around anyhow.
I still think I'm right. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, but I also don't agree with you.
And also, this is another thing we were talking about was the whole, like...
it could just be a play on words. Because they're lyrical wordsmith, voice of a generation.
It might just be like, oh my God, you shut your mouth. Yeah, a fucking stupid generation. If they're your favorite band, come on, you can do
Yeah,
better.
for real. Like, if your favorite band's like AC/DC, like, come on, guys.
If it's Nickelback, okay, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, all right, it's cool.
If it's Third Eye Blind, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Do.
Do.
But we were also talking about the trial, not the trial, the Senate hearing for
the
parental advisory or whatever.
Yeah, what the fuck are they? PMR?
Something like that.
PMRC? I don't remember. But anyway, it's the whole...
if you guys have never watched this video, just watch clips of it. Don't even watch the whole thing because it's a really long thing.
But yeah, Dee Snider was involved because he had... they brought him to court to be like, oh, your music's explicit. You can't do this. You have a whole album about sodomy and all of this. And then he has the most, like, eloquent speech to come back and just slap this fucking... I think it was Reagan's wife?
Reagan was the one in charge of it.
I think it was Nancy Reagan.
I think Al Gore was on the committee too.
The Tipper Gore, I think, was on there. It was a bunch of moms, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. No, but in the actual Senate committee, I think Al Gore was in there. But anyways, so it was like Frank Zappa, who was fucking Frank Zappa.
So everything was great because, like, they were talking. I'm paraphrasing because this happened in fucking the 80s and I wasn't alive yet. But
John Denver was still alive. Let's put it that way. So it's a fucking long time ago.
But yeah, and they're just saying like, oh, all rock and roll is all about sex, drugs, and whatever. And Frank Zappa's like, I'm actually famously sober. I don't do any drugs or alcohol. So
it's just weird.
And then they're talking about going back to Dee Snider, and there's like, yeah, you have this whole album Under the Knife, which is very like, I don't even know what word they use. Sodomistic? Is that a word?
I think so. Sodomy? Sounds like one.
Sodomy, but istic. But yeah, it's like, yeah, you just want to like put violence on women and all this kind of shit. And he's like, actually, that song's about me getting throat surgery. And it's just like, oh, fucking get him.
Well, it's also crazy because I think that was the transition towards music turning more metaphorical.
Yeah.
Not that it is now.
It's just the mainstream music people started listening to that were not like the poppy bullshit.
Which is like crazy to think that like Led Zeppelin's okay, but like Dee Snider isn't.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to interpretation. It really does.
Yeah, it does.
Like the song like by Nirvana, "Rape Me," like it's a terrible fucking song.
Yeah, if you listen to it out of context, you're just like, wow, this song's stupid. But the song's literally about the record companies taking all of his money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like that one, "Help" by the Beatles, is also kind of like about the record companies, and it just, I don't know. That's the beauty of music, is us having that argument, be like, wait, who is Leonard Skinner actually talking about? Is it Neil Young or themselves, right? And yeah, it's fun. It's good stuff. I recommend giving all three of those songs a listen.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of seeing like a beef in the 70s with white people. It's really entertaining. It's not like Tupac and Biggie when they're like, first off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim, West Side. It's like, god damn.
Which always I got confused because it's like, you guys are a little coast apart. Like, is this real or is this manufactured?
Did they just meet like in Kansas City and just like have like a gunfight or like a duel?
And I always, so I'm not in the know. I never was really into 90s hip hop. Still not, because I think it's the worst era of hip hop.
Oh my God. That is offensive as fuck.
It's so generic, dude.
You're so generic.
I would say like earlier hip hop kind of sucks too, but I think 80s hip hop is better.
I mean, they were the forefront of it, but the golden age is definitely the 90s.
Dude, the 90s got too, like, I sell crack on the corner. What's up, motherfucker? And it's like, you're not rapping, you're just saying things that you think sound cool.
Yes and no.
Most of them didn't sell crack, dude.
I think a lot of it too has to do with just the experience of just fucking living in the hood.
Didn't Tupac
right?
go to like Juilliard or some shit?
He did.
See? How fuck?
Just because you go to Juilliard doesn't. Wait, hold on. Just because you go to Juilliard doesn't mean that you can't go through some shit.
You could be gangster going to Juilliard. You're wearing a fucking pink shirt. Why you gotta be gangster? It's not always about being gangster. The song's called "I'm Gangster."
That's also P Diddy. P Diddy ruined hip hop. What are you talking about?
That was actually not necessarily P Diddy, but that was
a
reference to Pharrell.
But
in that movie.
I mean, if we're talking about hip hop, I mean, Outkast. They were the realest of the real. I think.
Yeah, that wasn't 90s. That was like early 2000s.
That was late 90s, dude. Stankonia and all that shit.
Early 2000s.
No, like when Outkast finally came out with their like all their shit, it was in the mid 90s.
You just said late 90s. See, now your story isn't lining up.
Mid and late 90s. It was definitely the 90s. The only one that was not in the 90s.
They were 2000s.
The only one that wasn't in the 90s was The Love Below and Speaker Box. Other than that, everything else was in the 90s.
They blew up in the thousands. 100% guaranteed.
Fuck no, dude. How can you talk about hip hop when you don't even listen to hip hop? You think it's the worst? Come on now.
I don't think it's the worst.
AT Aliens, Stankonia. Oh man, that
I
shit all
own
came
both
out in the
those
90s,
albums.
man.
I'm not saying it didn't come out in the 90s. I'm saying they blew up in the 2000s.
No, they blew up in the 90s.
They blew up in
They
Atlanta
blew up in the
and the
90s.
South, and then
I
they
will
went
bet you about this.
worldwide
No, you're stupid.
in the thousands.
You stupid.
Nah, dude, bet. I will bet an
What's 9 plus 10?
OTPHJ on that I'm right.
21. I stopped arguing with you. I just started saying shit.
Yeah, I know, because you know I'm right.
You're not right.
You know I'm right.
You're not right.
You know I'm right.
This is definitely one thing you're not right about.
This is definitely one thing I'm right about.
Outkast definitely blew up in the mid and late 90s.
See, you keep saying late, which
Mid and late
keeps
90s.
saying I'm right.
No, you're not right.
Thousands, bro.
I think Stankonia came out in 98.
Blew up in the thousands.
No, it didn't, dude. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson was bumping hard in 98. Never meant. Oh, they're so good. But yeah, you want to talk about like a group who like, I think people don't realize that a lot of hip hop artists, especially now, they're nerdy fucking people.
Yeah, that's why it's better.
Like Kendrick Lamar is a nerdy motherfucker who just grew up in Compton with some real shit.
Yeah, that's why I think hip hop is better now because
Oh, you shut your mouth. No, it's not.
because they understand the complexities of actual music
No. they
instead
don't.
of just like saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna say words over this beat that we stole from somebody."
Yeah, I'll give you that. But man, the flow was so much better in the 90s.
No, it
so
was
much
not.
better.
Get the fuck out of
Dude,
here.
KRS-One,
The
fucking
flow is
Busta
so
Rhymes,
good now.
fucking
dude.
Tribe Called Quest.
The flow is so unique. Oops, I just punched my mic.
Snoop
The
Dogg?
flow is dude. Snoop
Eminem?
Dogg is garb. Snoop Dogg is so garb.
I'm giving you like so many examples, and you went with Snoop Dogg on that one.
Snoop Dogg's garbage.
Tribe Called
Eminem
Quest.
blew up in the 2000s.
Eminem, he blew up in '98 as well.
See,
Marshall
late,
Mathers
late.
EP,
Yeah, he
still '90s.
Just
still
because
90s.
you drop your
Still
first
90s.
album in the 90s
Still
doesn't mean
90s.
you're you cap out your popularity in the 90s.
But he was more.
you
He was,
cap in the 2000s, which makes you relevant in the 2000s.
but he blew up in the '90s. He blew up in the
didn't blow
90s.
up. He didn't
blew
blow
up in the
up.
'90s.
You can't blow up if you don't cap. If you cap in the 2000s, that means you blew up in the 2000s.
No, he blew up in the '90s.
Nah.
And continued his blowing up in this
No,
in the 2000s.
He's definitely not.
You have no.
continuing
See,
to
this
blow
is
up.
why he doesn't talk hip hop, because he's so ignorant to it.
Okay, bro. Firstly, you talk
true.
about classic rock all the time.
Yeah,
that
but-
you're the foremost expert on it, and you literally listen to Southern Man today.
Yeah. What's Southern Man?
So please, children,
I'm
please,
catching up. I'm researching.
Please.
You ain't doing shit.
Just because I don't actively listen to hip hop doesn't mean I haven't listened to hip hop.
Which means you don't know hip hop.
You don't know shit
I
about
know.
shit.
Exactly.
So you're
Except for
sitting
hip-hop.
here. You didn't start listening to hip
And-
hop
and
until like
Duranguense.
10 years ago.
And Duranguense.
See, I couldn't talk to you about that. If you want to
Neither
play
can
some
I.
like
It's fucking
cumbias or
awful.
some shit, I'll be like, yeah, okay.
Cumbias are fun.
Because you grew up with cumbias.
You know what?
You didn't grow up with any of this bullshit you're speaking right now.
Bullshit. I grew up with KS1075 back in the 90s.
KS 1075, like the radio station.
Yeah, dude. They used to play TLC. Used to play Cisco. Oh man, that was some good shit. Destiny's Child, Missy Elliott. Oh,
You know the Thong song came out in 2000, right?
it did not come out in 2000. Jesus Christ, dude. What is your thing right now? Also, the story behind
Fucking-
the Thong song is actually fucking amazing too. It's amazing.
2001. What's up?
Okay, he was right.
What's up?
He's right about one thing, and he's losing his shit. And he's breaking the mics over here, man. Come on now.
Yeah, because I'm fucking right. You're sitting here like, oh, you know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, it came out in 2000. You're like, no, it didn't. You know what the fuck you're talking about. And then I said, yo, boom, evidence that I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Let me use Chris's thing. It was the early 2000s, so therefore it was the late 90s.
I didn't. That's exactly how music works.
No, it's not.
Your album comes out within 2
not.
years.
It's not.
Then you blow up 2 years later.
Dude,
That's
Stink
literally
only
how it
blew
works.
up immediately.
You don't really blow up until you go on tour with it. And
That's
you
not
don't
true.
go on
It's not
tour.
true.
That's very
It's not
true.
true.
That's very
It's not
fucking
true.
true. That's very
Not
well,
true.
especially how music used to
Not
work.
true. Hey, Chris. I love you, but it's not true.
No, you're just fucking wrong. You're just ignorant to how music actually works.
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. You're
Fine.
okay. You don't know hip hop. It's fine. Don't worry about
It
it.
has nothing to do
okay.
with
It's
hip hop.
okay.
It
That's
has to
okay.
do with music
It's
industry
okay,
in general.
boo. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I literally took music business classes in high school or
The
in
sun
college.
is rising. The sun is rising.
And this fucking guy over
sun
here
is
is
rising.
talking his ignorant bullshit. Oh, it came out in 98, therefore they're popular in 98. Nah, dog.
The sun is rising.
They didn't
The
get
sun is
popular until
rising.
99 or 2000, which makes me correct.
The sun is rising. Don't worry about it.
See, he's changing the subject because he
I'm
knows I'm
not.
right.
He's getting mad for no reason. He doesn't like it when I'm right, you guys. It happens. But anyways, we're gonna get
so
going.
why am I mad?
He's mad. It's okay, you guys. But we're gonna get going because we got shit to do, things to see. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful yelling. No sports, by the way. No movies. It's pretty.
We did talk about.
What?
Did we not talk about movies?
No.
I think we usually talk about sports, movies, or music. So
no, this is all straight movies. Or straight music, I should say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we still hit the trifecta of what we always talk about. We still failed.
But usually we try to transition. This was just straight Neil Young to Outkast to Cisco. How that fuck that happened, I don't know.
Because you were wrong on all of it.
Anyways, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, on Spotify, on all these wonderful things that we are probably on.
And again, watching this on YouTube, this is a YouTube exclusive. Tell your friends, tell your uncles, tell your grandmas, tell your grandpas.
If you have a great grandmother, holla at your boy.
I don't know if we want them.
They probably couldn't log on.
Yeah, they'll be listening to me like, he's so fucking wrong about Neil Young. So, that's why I just don't want to be wrong.
He's so right about Outkast.
Exactly. That's why I don't want those people.
Hey, you guys. We'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend. Peace.
Fuck G.
Bitch.